Hello, this is Easy, and I'm going to be using TopoGun here, and I'm going to show you two methods on retopolizing mesh. This is going to be one way, and the second part's going to be the quicker way. And the first part's going to give you kind of an idea of how to do something, maybe if you're having problems in a certain area. So what we're going to do is load the reference mesh here. All right, we'll load this one here, and once it's loaded, we'll bring it around here, and we'll zoom in. Usually what's hard sometimes is when you start the leg, then you try connecting the mesh into one piece, which would be the waist area, or vice versa, the waist down into two legs when you split it apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the draw here, and we're going to set this to 8. Alright, let's make that 9. I'm sorry, we're going to make that 9 here, and we're going to be drawing outside the mesh. And I'm going to start here. This 9 is actually going to give us 8 here. I'll show you here in a second. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag in the crotch area something about right here. Alright. Then I'm going to come down a little bit and make straight across. That way this bottom one you'll see here in a second. And the next one here, I'll kind of have it a little bit tipped down here because when it's in an angle like this, you want to gradually turn that angle to straight. In case I'm down here, if I do any extruding, I want my lines to end straight right here. Another thing is you need to click the mesh or right click it and make sure all these lines are in order. All the green on one side and all the blue are on one side. So a lot of times when one's selected, it's hard to see it, so you got to select the next one. Alright, with that said, we're going to go ahead and make a loft line here. I'm going to stay somewhere close to all these points in the middle here. Stay in the green, don't have to be perfect. And when you do that, then you'll evaluate that. Alright, to remove all the lines, instead of the seam mesh, we'll just clear off. And what I want to do is, remember it has 9 points. So if I select here, and I'm going to press some hotkeys, we're going to go ahead and select the edge mode here. And when I select an edge, my cursor, if I move to one corner, it's got an L on it. If I double click, it highlights the whole ring, which will give us 8. Alright, 8 edges. Alright, the next step is I want to select all the vertices, so I'm pressing hotkey. These are like 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to click and drag over here. Then I'm going to create the cemetery here. Alright. Now when I do that, I'm going to switch over and use the bridge tool. I'm going to start here in the crotch area, and I'm going to bridge up. Alright, there's going to be certain areas that I'm going to stop at, and I'm going to stop there. I'll end up getting 6 faces right down the middle here. And here, and here. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to split this in the middle here in the crotch area. So once again, I'll switch over to edge mode, and I'll select an edge here. And we got this option over here, connecting ring. So that's going to split the difference. Be careful, something like this might happen here. So Control Z that. And sometimes if you just do it on different sides, you'll get different results. So maybe if I do it back here, it's alright. No, let's do that one more time. Connect ring. And no, didn't fix it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to manually fix this, which is not a problem. Just holding the control key and bring that around. I ain't seen a program yet that does retopolizing that is perfect. This one's pretty good, and a lot of them are pretty buggy, so be careful which ones you use and try the demo version before you buy. We're going to go ahead and loop that, and you can see it's kind of crooked back here, and we're going to zero this out to the center. Alright, now it's in a crack area here, so it's one side's trying to go to the left more in the center, unless my mesh is off center. So I'll just press it again, see if that helps a little bit. Alright, with that said, I want to go ahead and subdivide this. Take a look. Doesn't look too bad. I kind of like that right there. There's certain areas that might make it a little bit edge flow a little bit more so it ain't so pitched up. As you can see, it goes straight up here and straight across. We can go ahead and bring this up here. and we'll get this nice little loopage effect. Alright, I'm going to do it like that. You can see the flow of the edge, how it kind of starts and goes around. So that looks pretty good. And we'll do it for the back also. Alright, don't want to get too much. It'll correct itself. Alright, that looks good. Once again, since I moved all these points and they could have moved to the side, I do want to go ahead and zero them back out. So we'll loop that, and alright, that looks good. Subdivide it one more time to take a look. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now the next step is, you can see it starts going up then down. Well, I'm going to start extruding. I want my line to go straight. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the tubes tool. Alright, and when I do, I'm going to go ahead and hide the reference mesh. Is because sometimes the back is higher than the front and I'll end up getting into the mesh. So what I'm going to do is get a correct view here, and I'm going to start pretty close down here, this one here, and I'm going to come straight across. Alright, then I'm going to do the same thing about right here. Alright, we can turn that on. Then I'm going to right click, and that's going to finish that out. Now another thing is, I had it set to 8. Okay, you want matching edges and points. So if I loop this one has 8, and if I do this one and loop it, that has also 8. Alright, the next step is to connect these. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it down, and I'm going to hold the control key, and it's going to get a little red dot that comes up. That's going to indicate that they're going to weld together. Speed up a little time here, turn the cemetery on, and we're going to work our way around it. As you can see how that welded that last one and put this shape in the middle, I'm still going to go ahead and bring this down and weld this one here. And if you want to zero that out to double check the edge here, if you want to do that again, because I was moving things around, we can still zero that out and double check that. Alright, now let's subdivide that and make another double check. Everything looks good. Now when I start extruding, my line's going to start off somewhat straight here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it back, and we're going to use this extrude tool, and we're going to double click, and all you got to do is drag up and let go, then drag up and let go. Okay, and when you're done, all you do is subdivide that, take another look, and then you get something like that. Alright, we're going to go into the next step here. I am going to pause the video. Okay, in the second part, this only takes a couple minutes to do, but with me talking, it's going to take just a little bit longer. I got this poly grouped right here. You can use the group option here to hide or show groups. This was grouped in ZBrush, and we got two halves. Alright, I closed the hole here. The head would be in the way, so I removed the head. Alright, we're going to be using the draw tool with the sweep. So I'm going to set the point to 17, and here's the sweep option, and make sure that's selected on. With a full body, this will not work very well. We are going to turn on the steady mouse, and it seems to work best not to draw on the front or the back, kind of get it in between. I'm not going to do the whole arm, the whole leg, and we're going to do about right in the middle underneath the armpit, and we're going to drag straight down. Alright, then we're going to get something like that. Then we're going to evaluate that. Okay, then we're going to take a look at that around on each side here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and clear that sweep line here, and we're going to go ahead and start deleting some edges, so we'll switch over here and we are in edge mode, and I'm going to start deleting downwards. Better turn off the back face to make sure I don't select anything back there. And there's going to be an area that you need to know where to stop at down here. Don't want to get too far. Alright. And I'm going to select here and I'm going to loop this. And I'm going to snap this to the reference. And give it a second. And another second. And voila. That looks pretty good. Alright, then what we can do is we're going to go ahead and zero this out, see if it'll straighten that up a little bit better. Yeah, perfect. The next thing, I want to add an edge here, edge ring, and we're going to select the edge right here, and we're going to try using the connect ring. Sometimes that will cause the some of the polygons to disappear. Just a little minor bug. Control key click, and click. That was an easy fix. And I want to delete a edge on the top right here, because this is actually where the neck hole's at, and I want to have an opening for that. And I'll move this over here a little bit, turn off the steady mouse, and you can kind of shape it around just like that. Maybe bring this one down just a little bit, and while it's there I'll just go ahead and zero that one out too. And when we get something like this, take a good look at it around, and then we're gonna hide that one there. We're in vertex mode, and we want the back faces selected also. We're going to select here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to create symmetry. Alright, looking good. And I want to go ahead and hide that and take a look just around here. Alright, I do want to go ahead and I want to fix this back up just a little bit right here. I want to do select here, here, here. Let's try the straighten and see if that'll work. There, that straightened it out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the symmetry, and that straighten the other side out. Our next step is gonna be welding these in the center. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're in vertex mode. We're going to be selecting the back faces too. So we're going to come down here in the crotch area. Make sure it's selected all the way around. I'm not going to get real picky in the video about patching this up in the crotch area. That looks fairly close. This is just a little demonstration, because there might be a little bit of tweaking that you got to do. So we're going to go ahead and merge two, and we're going to get something like that. And we might want to pull this up a little bit here, and maybe a little bit right here. Okay, I'm going to bring a little bit up here. I do want to straighten this one up a little bit better right here. This is almost like here. Just make it a little bit better for the video. Sure I ain't selected anything back here. I should have had the back face off. And I want to just go ahead and snap to the reference. So I'll come over here and snap to reference. This is not really necessary, but it seems to help when I straighten it back out. So I'll give it a second. straighten it, and it was kind of uniform like that. And what we'll do is we're going to match the other side. So let's go into vertex mode, I'm sorry. And what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the symmetry. And I do want to zero this out one more time, so we're going to loop that around. We'll shift click that one and loop it. Always look at the front and back and zero that out. Subdivide it. Then you get something like that. It's not too bad. Let's run this over to ZBrush. What we'll do is we'll go into the subdivision preference, and let's switch this over to the ZLT done, and subdivide that and just make sure everything's looking good before I ship it back over there. Alright, and subdivision, save, and we're going to call this subdivision and load it in ZBrush. Actually, I need to do one step because when I subdivide it, I got two halves here. Might end up getting a little crease in the middle when I subdivide it, because remember I do have two halves. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and load the reference, then I'm going to load the full body here. Then let's go to subdivision and the preference. I switched that to 4. Let's go back to 3. That's compatibility with ZBrush. Let's subdivide that again. Yeah, that's much better. Then we won't get the seam in there, since we are only having one group now. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Now that we got it loaded into ZBrush, you can see that if we want to bring back the subdivision level, we can use the reconstruct and bring back our subdivision level. It does need a little bit of tweak in the crotch area, but that's not a problem. Let's turn on the polyframe so we can see it. Let's go to 2, and we get all our subdivision levels back. And we do have the symmetry, and we can just move out a little bit of the primary right here and divide it a couple times, and we got a nice mesh that we can use here. Here's another way that you can use the sweep tool. We're going to use the draw. Make sure your sweep is active, and you can see I changed my points here, and I'm going to do the steady mouse, and I'm going to go on the halfway mark of the character here and try drawing straight down or something like that. And we're going to go to the next step and evaluate that. Okay, and we don't need the sweep line anymore. I'm going to go ahead and hide that reference here. I'll be using some hotkeys for the reverts and edge and faces. That's 1, 2, and 3. So we're on this mode here. We're going to delete that one, delete that one, delete that one. Just work our way down. Alright. I'm going to leave that top one and the bottom one there. I do want to straighten a few things up. Let's go ahead and line, try the steady mouse here. I'm going to line this one about right in the breast area. Come on, it comes about straight down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to edge mode. shift clicking all the way down. And let's go to straightens. That one looked pretty good there. Now let's do the back. I want to line this point here somewhere with the bottom point down here. So let's get this one over here. And we're going into edge mode, and we'll select this one, this one, this one, this one, and we're going to go ahead and straighten it. Alright, we can straighten some more, but this will work right now. Now what we need to do is we need to select here, and we are going to loop it, and we're going to zero out the zero cemetery. That's going to put it in the halfway mark. So far everything's looking good. Alright. Of course you might have a little bit of problem in the crotch area. This is actually just tweaking. So let's bring this down here. And let's go ahead and zero that one out too. So want that little flow going down here. Just a little bit of tweaking here. I'm looking at my edge flow coming down and coming around here. Alright, that don't look too bad. Alright, the tweaking is going to be up to you, so you can do any kind of adjustments if you want to before you proceed. Alright, I'm just not going to get really into detail on tweaking, so we'll just kind of straighten some of this up just a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and select here and loop it, and we'll zero that out one more time. And once we got that done, we are going to go into vertex mode. Make sure the back face is on, so we select the front and back faces. And what we're going to do is create cemetery, and you get something like that. And I'm just going to select just vert mode, and we're going to click and drag something like that. And we're going to merge two, and we're going to select the edge here. Going to loop that again, and we're going to zero that out again. Then you get something like that. And when you subdivide it, voila. Of course we need to pop a hole here on the top, so that was easy to do, so we'll just number 3 on the keyboard. And actually I think I can just delete that edge in the middle, and I'll delete both. So number 2, the edge, and delete. Then you can move your verts around. I want to see if my cemetery is still working here. Yep. Everything doesn't look too bad. Bring this down a little bit like that. And we're going to subdivide that. And there you go. Fairly quick. Thank you very much.